What's up, guys? I'm here to do a review on Naruto 670. So let's just jump straight into it. Um, I'm assuming you guys have read this. Uh, First off, I do have to say this guy, this Sage of the Six Paths, obviously the reader should have known immediately who he was. Naruto took a little bit, or a lot of time to figure it out. And at first, it seemed like he had been revived, but apparently he's still in some sort of stasis mode in his mind. And apparently the sage has, this is actually the sage, it's not a hallucination. He's come from the past. His physical form's died apparently, and this is either his energy form or a last sort of energy message sent through time and space to this location, embodying the sage. Regardless though, he makes one interesting point that I just think is really, really realistic, which I don't say a lot about manga because sometimes it's construed and weird and not realistic. But this time, what we have here is the sage pretty much, first off, he talks really weird. In my opinion, it's not that crazy. I can understand it. There are people in this world, and there's some textbooks that are just twice as dense. I actually understood 99% of the words the sage said. At least whoever translated this said. So in my opinion, like it's nothing big at all. It's just, I mean, he uses words like comprehension, insubstantial, ambiguous, traditions, notions, ethics, morals. They're not big words. They're standard SAT words, I guess you could say. Not even. Regardless, though, he makes a great point in the fact that all these things change with time and culture, and so that just, it brings it all back to a lot of things I've been saying on my main channel, regarding how, quite honestly, like how we talk now and how we express ourselves, our culture, the slang we use, the morals, the perspectives we have on life, that's all going to change with time, regardless of whether we like it or not. And it's constantly changing, whether you like it or not. And the most tragic, well, not the most tragic, but a tragic example that's quite recent is the fact that, like, if you look at the grandparents of our current age, so your grandparents, I guarantee you they talk differently from us. If you look further, and let's say you're in America and you look at the people who talked in who were like 20 and 30 years old in the 1960s. Some of them are still alive now, and if you talk to them, they talk in a different way. The way they talk is more warbled. It's more like it's more classic American, you could say. And it's like something out of one of those black and white films. That's how people talk then, and it's changed. And the crazy thing, the shocking and surprising thing about that's gonna suck when you get to grandpa age, is the children of your age are probably gonna think you talk weird. Like, you might think I'm talking normal now, but probably in 50 years it's gonna be different. So that's something I really connected with, and so it's very interesting. This guy's legitimately a beast. He pretty much readapts to the current time and age of talking immediately, like a beast, like a proper time traveler does. And then the dunce Naruto immediately starts recognizing and understanding him. So this guy's really cool, badass. The horns on his head kind of scare me. I don't really like those. The whole thing, I just thought, again, Naruto does a great job. I mean, not Naruto, the author of Naruto does a great job of, again, illustrating and just coming up with these cool character designs and costumes and how they're depicted. It's just ridiculous. And so, long story short, Naruto has one of those moments similar to Harry Potter and Dumbledore in the last book. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who haven't read Harry Potter or watched the movies, but you know what scene I'm talking about. And so they're in this like weird temporal place where everything's white, and you got an old guy and a youngin again, and it's not the afterlife, and yet it's something similar. It's sort of like an in-between place. Anyhow, what we have here is something very strange. They go through this flashback, which we kind of already knew about, but it was obviously illustrated in a different way. Before, I think it was illustrated with like cartoons, and so now we got these pictures of. Um, we get actual realistic pictures of these people of the past, the sage's children, his mother, and the tree itself, and it's all very interesting. Um, I I mean, it reminds me of very much of Doctor Who, the time traveling thing, the amount of intelligence and age and understanding and flexibility and plasticity of the this time traveling character, the sage in this case, who can just adapt to the current times and hint at things that reference maybe aliens or other worlds or the afterlife, but quickly cuts it off before you get too much information out of it. And he does it this time regarding the freaking the mom thing. Naruto starts asking questions like, "Where did this mom come from?" and so forth. And she's like, "She was more powerful than anyone. Where she came from is of no importance." Despite this, how she looks even weirder than the sage. Some sort of alien creature with like these two eyes on top of her eyes that are closed. Weird like ears coming out of her head. It's pretty much like a reference to whatever anime manga that has aliens in it. I mean, it's very similar stuff. Anyhow, two children are made. It's very strange how these children are humans, with the mom looking so weird. And more so than that, like the whole concept of the story, this person stealing this fruit for whatever reason. I mean, maybe there's some explanation behind it. I mean, just give the fruit back to the person. Why'd you have to steal it? But again, there's more to it than that that's not explained. Maybe it was to save a universe or a world, or maybe she was a evil person who just wanted the powers to control everything. I mean, you do see this panel where she's like on some sort of balcony, watching over the lands, and there's thunder crackling down. It's really, really crazy stuff. Then there's the revelation that the sage had a brother. Not much was explained about the brother, but the fact was that he had a brother, and the brother apparently has his own staff and stuff. Not much was explained about the sage's brother, but it could be implied that the sage's brother also had children of his own and so forth. So therein lies another thing that may be the savior to the story when all else fails. And so anyhow, we get back to the children of the sage, and we already know this story, so I'm not going to summarize it. And so it pretty much ends with the fact that how it all begins, and it's pretty much another reiteration of what has happened multiple times with Hashirama clan and the Uchiha clan and this constant fighting. And so basically, I guess it's just a power struggle thing. Big surprise. I mean, really, all it was is yet another just power struggle thing. The sage decided, you know what? I think the loser of the sun, who has somehow managed to get all the powers, decided, I think I will make him the leader, which was a bad move. Like, when you have two sons, you're just gonna overshadow one with the other by making him the leader. Ridiculous. Again, it still makes sense because at that point there was no fighting. It was just ninshu, which was, as specified in this chapter, different from ninjutsu. Ninshu apparently was this thing where, long story short, as explained from previous chapters, and you guys should know, it's not, basically it was chakra used to connect and I guess communicate with people and spread love, rather than chakra used to fight and stuff, ninjutsu. So big surprise, it was just some sort of big power struggle, and this long war has begun. So I'm curious to see how it goes. Again, if it was that simple, then we wouldn't have these sort of similar problems in the real world. And in the real world, they're a lot more complex, complicated, and there's a lot more gray areas and different types, shades of gray as well. But regardless, it ends with this thing where it's like Ashura apparently keeps getting reincarnated for some reason. That was just, I guess it made sense, but not really, because there's all these children and there's this reincarnation thing. Regardless, turns out, spoiler alert, Ashura was reborn as Naruto. So it's very interesting, and we'll see how it goes. Again, there's that philosophical question of, are you really your own person when you're a reincarnation of someone else, or are you just like a copy of that person, a variation? Like, sure, you're a blank slate, but you're not really a blank slate in the fact that a lot of your behaviors and mannerisms follow whatever this reincarnation is, Ashura. Regardless, that's where the thing ends, and we are done with the series. Or not the series, but the chapter. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. I think it's really interesting, however, that this sage thing can be passed from person to person, and at least so far we've seen 2 different people with this sage technique that look very similar but still different. It's very interesting. Anyhow, I'll see you guys later. I feel like this is crazy. Like, Madara himself is, I mean, he was already like stronger than anyone at the time before he got the sage techniques. Now he's on a completely different level, and there has been no one at Madara's level for a long time, even after he died, and a long time before. And I feel like he's been the strongest since the actual Sage of Six Paths, or his children. And it's kind of been downhill from there, which is kind of sad. And then the thing is that the Sage's mom might have been even stronger. I feel like the Sage himself could have beaten Madara at his current stage. Anyhow, I'll see you guys later. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.